Hello, ladies. Welcome in. I'm just getting set up here. Sorry, I was a few minutes late. Let me know that you can hear me and see me, and then we will get started. Let me pull up the chat so I can actually see you. Okay, you guys with me? I've got a very important message to share with you guys. And the Okay, great, Charlie. Thank you for letting me know. And if you guys would like to participate in the group chat, there is a link in the description box to join that. There's also a join button that you can click, and that gives you access to all the group chats in the live streams, and it gives you access to videos that I take down from YouTube, and you have access to them. Okay? Uh, if you're signed up on my newsletter, then you know this morning you got my second update for my weight loss. So if you're not, you need to be on it because I share a lot of behind the scenes and things like that on it. Okay, you can join on my website. So we're talking about don't negotiate with peasants. Okay, your worth is not up for negotiation. Your worthiness is never in question. And this is actually a topic that I'm borrowing today from my upcoming book, Lady Balls. I talk about this topic in there. And honestly, this topic could be, I mean, we can relate this to anything. We can relate to this to your career, we can relate it to your business, and we can definitely relate this to your dating life, your married life, your romantic life. And I already had sort of this topic in mind because it's in my book and I wanted to talk about it. But then I woke up this morning to a message from one of my sweet, sweet, sweet dear students who has been rotational dating. She's saving herself for marriage. And she sent me these audio messages, and I can tell that she was quite upset. I was very, very upset to see her upset, and what she told me just it got my blood boiling. And I told her, babe, I'm going to talk about this today. I won't say your name, but I'm talking about it. She's like, please do, Mina. Please talk about this. So she's dating for marriage and she wants to obviously save herself for marriage. She's not a dirty girl that's just going to let some dirty men who are going to bring all kinds of shit with them and come like be near her like that. Like, that's not your husband. Like, why would she do that, right? So there was this guy on her rotation that was literally trying to shame her for saving herself from marriage. Like, he was trying to act like she's the unicorn. And no, sir, you are the freaking unicorn. Nowhere in our evolutionary history for millions of years, not in any other species, forget the human species for a second, not in any species did men just get to have women or have females in their species without providing, without bringing something to the table. So you are the loser. You are the weird one. You're the one with the two heads. You think you're going to waltz in and have access to any woman you want and just sleep with her? Nope. That's not what it takes. In any species, you have to be able to provide. And in our species, for millions of years, there's been rituals around that. Okay? So no, she's not gonna just sleep with you because you think that's what everyone else is doing. Okay? And don't act like you're surprised. Like, the thing that pissed me off about this is that when my client was like, no, that's for my husband, not for you. You're not my husband. He was acting like, well, everyone does it and you have two heads. No, you know better. You think men don't know? You think men don't know? One thing that you can learn from all the men going their own way channels and all of that, I actually suggest you watch some of that stuff because you will see that men do not respect women that sleep around. Men, they know that a woman lowers her value when she sleeps around because it is not normal for our species. It's never been normal for any species for a woman to offer herself up on a platter without you proving yourself. So don't come in here acting like we have two heads. You have two heads. You're the weirdo. You're the odd one out. Okay. And I don't know what kind of dirty women you've been hanging out with that are the community service girl that just open themselves up to every man, but that's not my client. So you better act right. I was so pissed for her. I was so pissed for her. Like, what? And I told her, I was like, I sent her some audio messages back saying, shame him. When men do that to you, or when other women act like you have two heads for saving yourself from for marriage, be like, really? Oh, so you just let like any like dirty man just come in you? Just you just let him like come like on your body, like touch you in that way, and he hasn't claimed you. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Okay. Mm-hmm. So birds need to be provided for, but you just they can just have you just like that? Like how many? Any of them? Is there any criteria? Shame them because it's unnatural. This is not normal for our species. And if men say that to you, say, oh, wow, so you just insert yourself into any girl? Do you act like, wow, you go on dates and these girls show up and then you just take them home? Oh, wow. hmm I wonder if they're doing that with all the men. How many men do you think that they've slept with before you came and you just inserted yourself? Huh? Shame them because this is not normal. You're not the odd one out for protecting yourself for marriage. They're the weirdos. We've never done this before. Okay? They're breaking the Homo sapien rules. They are the ones they're acting like they have two heads. They are the ones that are going against human nature, not you. So you should actually be acting very confused and curious, saying, well, did you know, by the way, this is just back me talking to you again, okay? Shut those people out. I can't, I was so mad. I was like, babe, I'm so mad for you. Like, I'm so mad. Who? Like, how dare these people think that they can come and shame you for acting according to your human nature? Did you know that even if you use protection, and you're sleeping with these dirty men that haven't provided for you, haven't claimed you publicly in marriage, haven't had some kind of a ritual to claim you, did you know that even if you were using protection, by the way, if you're not using protection, your DNA had forever been altered. There's scientific studies proving this now, okay? I talked about this in the portal. You have the recordings of that if you want to listen to that. Scientific proof, it changes your DNA. Even if you don't have a baby with him, it changes your DNA, okay? Let's say that you think that you're protected by using protection, okay? Did you know that when you come that close to another human being, their gut microbiome, the millions of bacteria that is inside their stomach, good and bad, inside their stomach area, that regulates your nervous system, regulates what kind of moods you're going to have, whether you're going to have fat cells or no, not fat cells, whether you're going to think happy thoughts or negative thoughts, whether you're going to be a optimistic person or a negative person, how you metabolize stress, all of that is passed through human to human contact. So if you are sleeping with these random men that you don't know, okay, that you are taking this risk with, now that guy's gut microbiome is in your body. It's in your body. So now if that guy has the kind of gut microbiome that promotes you being fat, you're going to be fat now. If that guy's gut microbiome is the kind of bacteria that promotes you being depressed, you're going to be depressed now. You don't know what is going on with that guy. And this is a scientific fact. This is a science that you take on. And then if you are eating right, you're healthy, you've been doing your inner work, you've been working out, taking walks in nature, getting your vitamin D, like you have been working hard, investing money, time, energy, blood, and sweat into your well being, he gets to have that good gut microbiome for you, from you, without having done any work. So he downgrades your nervous system and your body and your cellular structure and your DNA. He downgrades it and you upgrade his. Explain that to me. Why? 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 Why would you do that for a man that is not your husband? Why? Explain it to me. Why would you take on dirty DNA and dirty micro gut biome for someone that hasn't claimed you legally, spiritually, emotionally? Why would you do that? I don't get it. Okay, let's go further. Did you know that stress leaks through the body? So, do you know that stress ages you? Stress can make autoimmune diseases flare up. Stress can cause all kinds of issues. Like the number one, probably if you look at any disease, everything, the number one killer of human beings is probably stress because it leads to so many diseases, so many diseases. So now this guy that you are sleeping with, that's not your husband, he is leaking stress into your body. Okay. And if you've been taking care of yourself, you're bringing this guy peace. He's taking your life force energy. Do you think that I'm just randomly sitting over here putting myself at risk by making these videos? By just telling you that he's stealing your life force? This is all now scientifically documented. Back in the day, we had sages and teachers and gurus telling us this stuff, and we thought they were old-fashioned. We thought they were nuts, right? That's why we decided we were gonna go do it our own way. And now that science is progressing, I know it's only 500 years old, but it's making progress. And now, isn't it scary to you that all the stuff that they used to say back then is now suddenly becoming scientifically proven? They knew their shit. They knew what they were talking about. There is a reason that every single religion in the world says, do not sleep with men that are not your husband. Every single religion says that. Every single religion says that. Because it is a scientific fact that this guy is now epigenetically changing you. The only person that I'm willing to take that sort of risk with, taking on his DNA, taking on his gut microbiome, taking on his stress, if he's is my husband, because I can control his diet. I can control his stress levels, right? He's been properly vetted. I know his bloodline. I know where he comes from. Why on earth would I subject myself to all of these health issues, all of these emotional issues for dirty DNA? Why? Why would I do that? Explain that to me. Okay. So if you follow me and you consider me a friend, some people call me, some of you guys call me your mother, your older sister. I'm not just blowing smoke over here. This is scientific. Okay, I am concerned about your well-being. And I get people saying, oh, as long as he checks out for STDs, it's fine. If that's your criteria, okay, I'm sorry, but someone didn't love you when they should have loved you, so you could have known your value. But I love you. I love the people that follow me. Don't do it. When I look at your face, I see Alina, I see Sheena. And this is the same advice that I would give Sheena and Alina. So I'm not going to tell you something different. If you don't like it, you can leave and you can continue doing what you're doing. Good luck to you. I hope you find your word soon. But I'm telling you here that you are opening yourself up to so many issues that you don't even realize. And like I mentioned, the science is only 500 years old. So God knows what we're going to find out in 1,000 years and 2,000 years of what all the stuff they've been telling us. It was rooted in fact. And we just call them old-fashioned. And I mean, here, modern woman to modern woman, you don't know where this guy has been. You don't know who he slept with. You don't know what kind of skank he's been with. And now he's bringing all of that to you. It's leaking through his gut microbiome, through other places, through his skin. Why? You are clean. You are sacred. Okay? I rather die alone, not have kids, and not then be with skank, than be with dirty, dirty DNA. That is my service to humanity. Because I don't want to leave the planet worse than I found it by procreating with dirty DNA. Okay. And like I said, even if you're like, well, I'm not going to have kids and I'm using protection, he just downgraded your gut microbiome. Do you know how hard it is to fix your gut microbiome? For those of us that have overcome autoimmune diseases like me, oh my God, do you want to know how much pain and suffering I have been through to fix my gut microbiome? How many years of good nutrition it took, meditation, workouts, special doctors, vitamins, hours and hours and hours listening to podcasts, hundreds of books, going from doctor to doctor. This has been a 12-year journey for me. And there are times where I still struggle. So you're saying that your urges are so like you're so weak as a woman that you're willing to risk your health for that cute guy over there? not knowing what's going on with this guy. Whew, that's a whole word. But here's my message. Peasants will always try to bring you down to their level because that's all they can do. They can't come up to yours, okay? I used this example in my balls book, and I'll say it again here. When I got my first retail job, I was like 16, 17. I think I was 17, and I was like making $7 an hour and super excited to, for the first time in my life, like have a job and be making my own money. And my supervisor on the second day puts me on the register. And I'm like, I've never ran a register. Like, she's like, you're a smart girl, you'll figure it out. So she puts me on the freaking register in like the customer service desk, not even in like the regular register. And I'm like, this is like the second job day, right? So I'm running the register, and this woman walks up to me at the register, and she has this vase in her hand, and she's like, there is a scratch on this vase. And I think she said something like, there's a scratch on this vase, I would like a discount or something like that. And I said, oh, there's a scratch on it? Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you want me to go find you another one? I didn't know, like, this is my first job, right? Like, I know that if something was broken and had a scratch on it, I'd want another one. I wouldn't want that one. So I said, would you like for me to go find you another one? And she goes, nope. I would like for you to give me a discount on this. And I'm like super confused. So I'm looking at the vase and I'm trying to find the scratch, and she's pointing it out to me. It's freaking imaginary. There is no scratch on this face. And I'm like looking at it, you know, and she was an older woman and I'm like 17, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have better eyes than her. I don't see it, okay? So she's like, she starts getting upset and she's like, I want you to call the manager. And so I'm like, okay. So I called the manager, and I don't even remember what happened. I think the manager came, gave me the discount. And I was like so confused that day because just I didn't really have much experience at 17 shopping or dealing with people like this, right? So I forgot about it. Years later, when I started doing real estate, I learned why they do this. So when I would be showing homes to families, and they would come in, and there would be families that would just be like, "Oh God, this house, like this is broken, and this, and oh, that's this way," and I would be like mortified. I would be like, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have shown them this house. Like it matched their specifications," and I'm like standing there feeling like super awkward and nervous, and like trying to go through the MLS listings, and like trying to find like some kind of excuse out of it. And then they would freaking go home and write an offer for the house that they hated. And they would write a very lowball offer. They would forget that I'm on their team, I'm their realtor, and they didn't have to play this entire game with me. They could have just been like, Mina, I love this house. I have to have it. This is what I can afford. Can we try that offer? And as a realtor, I'm required to bring all the offers. So I would have brought your lowball offer, you peasant, but you thought it was necessary to downgrade the thing. And as I started learning more about human psychology and evolution, because remember, I was doing real estate while I was at uni. So I'm like, oh my God, these peasants don't think that they deserve a nice house. They think that well, they know that they're peasants. So they have to bring that house first down to their level, and then they have to lowball that house. And I started learning. So then when I would take people on home tours, when they would complain about it a lot, I would say, did you want me to put an offer for you? And guess what? They always did. They always did. The only people that didn't do that were wealthy people who weren't peasants, who like had money. So when I quit doing residential real estate and went into commercial, went into investments, it stopped. All of it stopped. Like wealthy people would come up and they would, like investors, they would point out the flaws, right? But their thing was different. They're like, okay, well, we should get a credit for that, and we'll have to get an inspection about that. Note that. But they would never try to bring something down to their level because they're already at a higher level. So here's the thing, babe. People that think that they're not worthy of you need to bring you down to their level. They are scum. Okay, they are dirty, they are peasants. If they end up somehow on a date with you, they don't know what to do with themselves. My mom used to say that when someone hasn't experienced something nice, when they have not received respect, when they have not been in the company of class and clean and sacredness, they don't know how to behave. They don't know what to do. They're like stumbling over themselves. And the only thing they can do is bring you down to their level. Don't do it. I have a rule in my life, whether it's a client coming in trying to become a client because my clients know better, but I'm saying a prospective client, I'm like, we don't negotiate with peasants. My prices are what my prices are. Okay, either you can raise yourself and meet me where you're at, or go find another coach. There's millions of coaches out there. I don't have to come down to your level. No. Okay, you can come up to mine. Yes, that's always an invitation, but I don't have to come down to your level. I don't. And you don't have to come down to anyone's level. So if someone is trying to tell you that you have a scratch on you, you probably don't. Okay? In fact, I guarantee you don't. They're just making that shit up so they can try to get you at the discount bin. Okay, that's not where you belong. That's where they live. Those are the kind of people that they're used to interacting with. Okay, that is not you. So I'm just, oh, she got me going this morning with the DMs. I was so pissed. I'm sorry. Okay, calm down, Mina. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see what my girls are saying over here right now. Facts, dirty Johns will slowly but surely start trying to chip away at your self-esteem. Yes, and they're so good at it. Oh my God, my ex was so good at it. He would compliment it, he would like sandwich it in between compliments and then leave me confused. Like that was being married to him was one of the most confusing times of my life because I never knew what way was up and what way was down. There was just a whole sea of confusion. It's like you anytime you brought everything up, you were left feeling confused and it was a hot mess. That's what they do. They're really good at it. Okay? Just like that woman that was trying to convince me that there was a scratch so she can get a 10% discount. Why do you want to buy something with a scratch? Just get a new one. I want to teach this to my clients. Is there a specific book other than yours that you recommend, or did you read all the research individually yourself? Babe, this has been like literally I would say about a 25-year journey of reading everything. So no, there's no like one book I can recommend you where it's like everything is all in there. No, especially because it's changing. Some of the things that I cite are from like my studies, from university. And when I go back, that research has been even more solidified now. And then there's new research coming. So no, unfortunately, I've just dedicated my entire life to studying this. So I don't have one book that I can recommend. My frontrunner has so much respect for my choice in waiting for marriage, as good men always will. Good men always, healthy men will always respect your choice because they would not want there for their mother. They wouldn't want it for their sister. They wouldn't want it for their kid's cousin. They wouldn't want it for their colleagues. Here's what you need to understand, babe. Healthy men want to protect humanity. They're wired to protect humanity. They will risk their own life to protect women and children that they don't even know. Okay, this is how they're wired. Men are wired to put their lives on the risk to protect women and children. And you're telling me that this guy, you know why? It's because those guys are not healthy. They're predators. They're predators. They're not healthy. They want to take advantage of you. These are the same men that like drug women, take advantage, like find them in weak moments, give them extra alcohol, get them in weak positions, and then take advantage of them, and then say, "Well, she asked for it. She showed up at my house." I already cited that study with you guys, right? Where was I talking about that? Where men, these were like men that under normal circumstances were asked questions about what was appropriate and what was not appropriate as far as like coercing a woman into sleeping with them. And all of them, when they were in just their normal state, said a lot of things were like, they were like, no, you should not coerce a woman. You shouldn't drug her. You shouldn't rape her. Like they agreed to all of that. When they were aroused, when they were sexually aroused, those same men changed their answers. Isn't that disturbing? So you have to make sure that you don't put yourself in situations where you're alone with a horny ass man. Because in his mind, he is rationalizing that it's okay to violate you, whether it's emotionally coercing you or physically violating you, he justifies that. That study has disturbed me beyond anything else. Like, so human nature is so disturbing sometimes. It's also beautiful, but it's also disturbing. And it's okay to victim train. I know we talk all about the feminists, all victim blaming. I'm victim training. We need to train people. I'm victim training. Yes, because every single woman is in a vulnerable position because we do not have the same testosterone level as a man. Any man, the most average basic man against the most strongest woman in the planet, a biological female, I'm not talking about all the other people, but normal, can what with his bare hands choke you to death. You are more vulnerable. By the way, I've been hearing these stories of, do you know now that because of all this crazy gender stuff, I heard the story and I was just like so disturbed, so disturbed. There are men who are convicted rapists, convicted like criminals, like really nasty criminals that are now claiming that they identify as a woman and then getting into female prisons because all you have to do is fill out a form now. They fill out the form claiming that they identify as a woman and then going to female prisons and raping women. There's a lot of female prisons where women ended up pregnant, where a man identified as a woman showed up. And then it's like he was a convicted rapist. What were they expecting? Sir, if you are a woman, how come that lady ended up pregnant when you showed up? Like it's just so disturbing how these predators can just learn to work the system and just, oh my goodness. It's just so messed up. Oh, I love that victim training versus victim blaming. Yep. In my culture, there's a lot of victim blaming because they say that the premise is if you blame victims that everyone else will be careful. But I feel like there's proper training in my culture as well, and there's just, sometimes there's just predators and you can't do anything. But every single woman should take precaution. Like, you should take precaution. Like, why would you not, right? I won't end up in a room alone with a man that I don't know, that I just met on Tinder or whatever website. By the way, this client that messaged me, the student, she did admit that she was meeting these men on apps, and she's like, Mina, you're right. I need to stop doing the apps. And the truth is, babe, there are good men on apps, but there's a lot more predators. Here's the thing: the good men never get shown to you on apps. They're less likely to be shown. The reason is because a lot of these dating apps use AI and they try to find faces that are generally more attractive, like better lighting, like they look at the male jawline, like they look at certain masculine characteristics that are more beautiful when it comes to how they're presenting themselves. But these guys might, just because a man has a perfect jawline or whatever doesn't mean he's a good guy, right? So the nice guy may have just taken like a random selfie. He doesn't understand the tactics of dating because he's not a predator. He's not out conning women. But the predators are really good. They will take a certain angles, certain pictures, and post those things. And then these AI in these dating apps promote those people more. So you might, on a dating app where you're dependent on AI and the profit of the business, are they really looking out for your best interest? Like, you have to think about it. So I've heard TikTok does that too, where they promote more visually beautiful faces more than, faces that are not considered as beautiful. So there's AI behind a lot of this stuff. So you don't even know if you're ever seeing the good guys because they don't know how to take the right angle pictures. Like they don't think about the average good guy who's like working hard, work like saving money, like hanging out with his friends. Like he has like a basic normal life. He doesn't know how to take the right selfie pictures or the right lighting. Like he doesn't understand that manipulation of all of this stuff. So you might not even be seeing that guy. My client tried to negotiate a very inexpensive service that I did for her, and I was instantly annoyed. My prices are my prices. Go find the money or go to someone cheaper. Yep, exactly. There's always people like some people like to shop at Walmart. Some people like to shop at Chanel. And and then there's people in between. None of that is bad. But just because you are used to shopping at Walmart and you expect me to bring my Chanel prices down to your level, no, I don't have to do that. And I refuse to do that. I can't tell you how many of my students and clients have come back year after year saying, Mina, when I started working with you, I thought your prices were crazy. I had to save up, I had to manifest, and now the money just pours in and I'm investing in myself. Thank you for up leveling me. So I'm going to go ahead and keep my prices at what they are. Okay. They're not up for your peasantry. And that's how you need to be in your dating as well. Mina, are you drinking anything instead of green smoothies for your skin? I read in your book that you're not drinking them anymore. Yeah, she's referring to my Contained in Love book. It has my diet, fitness, all of that stuff in there. It's linked in the description box. I'm drinking water. I'm drinking this. I also enjoy this stress tea. I think it's called kava tea. Sometimes I drink magnesium water still, but no, I'm not drinking green smoothies anymore. I left my ex because I knew that if I didn't, I would be dead in a year due to the damage being done to my body and spirit. Yeah, that's not worth it. That is like, we need you alive and well, right? There's a woman in love, a woman that's pair bonded is already like going to make a lot of compromises. She's gonna work with you. Like that's just how women are that have been pair bonded with you when you've been showing up correct. So if you are not showing up correct and you're trying to chip away at us, damage us, take us down, you are not worth it, sir. So yeah, absolutely not. Like that's the advice I would give my daughters. So that's the same advice I'm gonna give you. So important to spread this knowledge and combat the misinformation women are fed about how it's empowering to sleep with random men. No. There was a man that left a message, I think yesterday on the YouTube channel. I don't read the comments anymore, but once in a while, I'll go into the other folder to see if there's anything that was good that got tagged by YouTube and put in the other folder. So I went in there and his message had been tagged and he said something that, oh, like now all the women are going to end up single because you're teaching them not to have sex. Well, if our choices are have sex with scum, bottom of the barrel men, predators, or end up single, I'll take the single, please. Because if those are my only two options, which they're not, men behave according to what we allow. We know this because as soon as we lower our standards, look what happened to society. Okay, we're the only species that did it this way. No, every female in the other species has kept the same standards for millions of years. We're the only ones that lowered them. And what an explosive experiment it has been, right? So no, sir. Okay, I'd rather be single than sleep with scum. No. Mina's savage skills worked. I left my date confused and impressed. Good. Good girl. There you go. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Welcome to Level Up Queens. Mina shouting at me fills with me with deep pleasure. I have so many clients when I'm like going off on them on the phone and they're like, oh, I love it when you talk dirty to me. And I'm like, I'm being serious right now. I'm trying to give you a piece of my mind, set you straight, and you're like doing that. Stop it. Someone in my rotation wanted to plan a trip for us. He was surprised when I said I only take trips with my husband. I feel he tried to shame me by making it seem like I want him to marry me. Nope. Nope. May the best man win. Okay? If you are not worthy of marriage, if you're not ready, because men know whether they're ready or not, right? They know. Okay? This is like the weirdest example that I have that was recently coming up. Let me share this with you. So there's a woman that I know who is beautiful, she's successful, she just has a really, really great life. Like I would consider her a top 1% woman. Like she's got everything going for her. She is a little bit older. She wasted a lot of time with a lot of losers. And so she's in her late 30s and she's dating a man who she's moved in with herself because she's the more financial. He's successful, like he could have done it, but because she's more successful and she thought moving him in will convince him. So she moved him into her house and she is financially taking care of his kids from his previous marriage. And she's like pouring all of this mother energy into his children and to him, and she even had his baby. Like I know this woman like desperately wants to get married. She says it all the time that there's nothing more meaningful in her life to get married and have children. And she has just up leveled their life. Like his children used to go to regular school, she put them in private school. Like she drops her successful business every time his kid, like he has like joint custody. Like she is just this is like they're her kids. Like she's pouring everything into him, and the guy just will not propose, right? And I was just getting so mad because he seems like a really great guy. Like that's the thing. Like I don't see any predator vibes in him. Like he's a good guy. He works hard and he can give like he makes multiple six figures a year. So he is successful. She's just more successful, right? And he just will not propose. Like she's even like made comments and she's tried saying it nicely, requesting it, made jabs at him. Like she's tried everything. He won't do it. So one day I was just having a moment and I was like, Irfan, explain this to me. Like why? Okay, he's already living with her. He moved into his house, her house. She's like subsidizing this grand lifestyle that he has. Like instead of flying normal, he flies private now because of this woman, right? His kids go to private schools. They wear designer things now. Like they have access to like top-notch things in life because of this woman. Why won't he marry her? Well, besides the obvious, because the obvious to me is because why he doesn't need to. She's having his babies, she's raising his previous kids. Like to me, it's like, duh, why should he buy the cow when he's getting everything for free? So I can understand that as a professional and just from being a woman. However, I'm like, there's got to be something more. So I said this to Irfan, and he's like, easy, because Irfan knows them too. He's like, easy. He doesn't think he's worthy. And I was like, what? And he's like, he knows that he's with someone better than him. And because he's a good guy, like he wants to give her everything. Like she wanted a baby, he gave her a baby. He wanted him to move in, he moved in with her. He wants to raise, she wants to raise his kids. He's letting her do that. Like he loves her. He's a good guy. Like he's letting her have what she wants, but he himself doesn't feel worthy because he's like good men know when you're out of their league. And they will either rise up to that and make themselves worthy, and maybe he's trying to do that. But I was like, that is such a different perspective. It's not the first thing that would have come to my mind. That's why it's so good to run things by like healthy men that see a different perspective. He's like, that guy thinks that she is so much better than him that he's still working very hard to. But I'm like, but he's making babies with her and he's moved in with her. Just give her the damn ring, like, and work towards it later. He's like, well, he's a good guy and he would feel like he's taking advantage of her. I'm like, but he's moved in with her already. So, anyways, just a different perspective, right? Men know when they're not acting right. That's the thing. They know when they're not acting right. So, you don't have to like school them. They know. Why does he think he's not good enough if he's also successful? He's not as successful as her. Maybe that's why. I mean, obviously, this is just me and Irfan psychoanalyzing someone else's relationship. But, and the thing is, because actually care about her, and I don't think that this guy is a bad guy. Like, from everything I've seen, he's a genuine man. So, to me, Irfan's theory seems the most plausible at this point. I think he loves her. I know he's working hard. He has been succeeding in his career even more and more. And I think that this woman can tone down some of her pick me ways as well. Like, come on, she's even leveled up his ex-wife's lifestyle. Like, I don't get it. Like, she could stop doing a lot of that. That would help. She's not my client, so I can't, I don't want to say, but yeah. Hi, Jess. Thank you for the super chat. Very generous. She said, "Hi, Mina. I'm 32 years old, dating a 40-year-old man, divorced man. He got angry when I looked him up online. Now he's demanding for my last name or he won't talk to me. I make 200K a year and he makes 250. I don't care about the money. I care about the fact that he got angry when you looked him up. Any healthy man will expect you as a woman to be doing some research because he's a man. He can choke you to death with his bare hand. We established that he's got 15 times more testosterone. And there are a lot of dirty Johns out there, right? So men, good men, healthy men understand why a woman in fact, they get angry. Healthy men get angry at women that put themselves out there and don't protect themselves. I know because I'm surrounded by healthy men. And when we have these conversations, you should see how angry they get. They get angry at women putting themselves at risk. When Irfan, me, and Armaan were watching Tinder Swindler and Dirty John on Netflix together, Armaan and Irfan were yelling at the screen, at the women, saying, "Don't do this. Oh my God, why would she do this? Why would she allow this?" Like they were getting upset at the women. So the fact that he got angry that you are being careful and taking care of yourself is a freaking red flag. That is really weird to me. Nope. Anyone that like you have to be careful too is that notice how people behave when they're triggered because every man and every woman is just human nature. We're on our best behavior when we meet people for the first time, right? When we're dating, when he could be like you might think he's in the $1 million man category, and then if he's trigger and he goes down to basic boy, run. Because when we are triggered, that's our true emotional state. That's the thing that we revert to. That reveals our like insecurities, our triggers, our trauma. So men that get like angry, that's a red flag. Now, if I was dating Irfan and he got angry at a woman for like putting herself at risk and he was like, "Oh my God, why would you do that? That guy's gonna that's fine for me because I'm like, okay, he's like in his brother energy right now and he's going to do that." Like, let me give you an example. When I started doing in-person intensives and we would be choosing a location and stuff, like I would be choosing a location on like the certain criteria, and Irfan would drive me crazy because he would be like, "No, no, no, it's gonna be really hard for them to get to the from the airport, and let's look at the prices. Like, is it gonna be affordable for everyone to stay at this hotel?" And he would just have all of these things, and I'm like, Irfan. Okay, my clients are not peasants. They'll figure it out. But like he was always in his like dad energy and like brother energy with you guys. And I was like, Irfan, like you're making it more complicated for me to choose a place. And when I would tell my students there, when they would come, they would be like, "Oh, that's so sweet." I'm like, this man worries about you guys more than you even know. Like he drove me crazy in choosing locations. We're doing this right now. We're in the process of finalizing a location for the Houston intensive. By the way, it's open for enrollment. Incarnate, link is in the description box. We've sold half the prices. And same thing, Irfan's like checking up everything that it can't be too difficult for the girls to get to. And are the girls going to have a lot of food options? Well, I'm just like, Irfan, you're making it really hard. Like, I need you to tone down the dad energy right now. But I'm telling you, this is how good men are. My son's the same way. All of Irfan's family, our neighbors, like every good, healthy man, everyone's like that. They worry all the time. Like I have neighbors that if I'm driving and like, you know how when the temperature changes, the air in your tire is less, like they'll like flag me down, say, "Oh, you need to have that checked out, your tire." Like I'm just like, "Okay, dad." That's what healthy men do. They look out for humanity. They look out for, like I said, they're willing to risk their lives for the safety of men, like women and children. So if a man is getting angry at you for protecting yourself, run, run, run. He is hiding something. Okay? He's hiding something. He's giving me Dirty John vibes right now. Okay. Like, it's like, and maybe he's a great guy, but like, can you act like it? Because this is not normal behavior for men to get upset if you're like verifying certain things. My God, what's wrong with people? Thank you, Irfan, brother. Yes, a good, healthy man should be happy to provide the info you need to feel safe and secure. Seems like very strange behavior. It is. I'm gonna go down and then tell Irfan after this life, and I just love watching how mad he gets at this kind of stuff. Like the way he just shakes his head that this is what's out there. My blood boils when my clients come to therapy depressed because the guy they slept with is suddenly not getting back to them. Why would he? You've already given him everything. Ah, and the thing is, a lot of these women don't even realize that. Okay, so yes, it's a fact that when you sleep with a man, your hormones start pair bonding with him, and a lot of that longing and depression can come from that. But what if this guy's gut microbiome was gross? And he comes from a long line of family members that are alcoholics, drug addicts, just sick individuals. And now you have their gut microbiome on in your system, and that's why you're feeling depressed. Like people don't even think about this stuff. They don't know. Like you haven't been told, you just don't know. Like honestly, how many people even know that gut microbiome is a thing and that the fact that you can infect other people with them? This is another one of those reasons. You know how they say that if you have fat friends, you're going to end up fat? Well, you think, well, yeah, because if I have fat friends, I'm plugged into the morphogenetic field and I'm more likely to make bad decisions. Yes, correct. But have you ever considered that their gut microbiome, which has like fat cells in it, is now in your body? It's in your system now. And then you're going to come home and hug your kids, be with your man. Now you're giving it to them. You're going to go hang out with your clients. You're giving them that. Do you see how all of this transfers? So when we live in a sick society, we all start becoming sick. We have to protect ourselves. Welcome, Poltz, I think it is. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that to the Level Up Queens. Nice to see you here. One of the healing teachers I follow recommends a 30-day cleanse, physical and spiritual, with your partner before intercourse. It actually takes 90 days, 3 months to clear um, like cord coming from previous sexual partners. So I would say 3 months would be appropriate if you want it to be more scientifically sound. Healthy men want to protect women and children. Always remember that. That's one of the biggest signs. Okay? If they're forcing you to bend your boundaries in any way that doesn't align, if they're forcing you to do anything, put yourself in risk at any way. Okay? I mean, I love healthy men. I love you. I love you, love you. I'm saying this respectfully, but they care about us so much that sometimes it's annoying. Okay? Because like my dad was annoying, my husband can be annoying sometimes, my son, Armaan, my 19-year-old, the entire time that I was in Dubai, he was blowing up my phone every day. Mom, are you eating healthy? You better not be eating unhealthy. Don't have too much fun and then regret it later. Remember how you feel when you're very lethargic from carbs. Like every single day, I was repeatedly getting these texts. And then I was telling Ayan, I was like, Arman's texting me again. And I was like, yeah, I'm eating healthy. Uh-huh. But they love us so much, they want to protect us that they can sometimes be annoying. Okay, so if someone's like pushing you under the bus, forcing you to do stuff, that's not normal behavior for healthy men. Thank you, Arman. I appreciate it. I wish I had listened. I know Arman watches my content, but I really, really, he knows. I told him later. I was like, I should have listened to you. Do you have any recommendations for cleansing besides abstinence? I believe that the cleansing also needs to happen spiritually. So I have a cord cutting meditation. I think it's available for free as well on YouTube. Let me check. Some of my clients said they found me through that meditation. So I had forgotten that it was on YouTube. Let me search for it. It's in a lot of my courses. It's in the Intoxicate Play Shop. It's in my Hypnotic Sex course. By the way, I have this really, really potent training that I'm planning on putting in hypnotic sex. This conversation came up with one of my clients, my younger clients, at the Dubai Intensive, who's, saving herself for marriage. She's a virgin. She's never had sex, and she was very curious about certain things. And I had this private discussion with her during lunch. And then I was like, you know what? People need to hear this. So it's a very deep, potent training. I don't feel comfortable putting on YouTube because I would have to censor half of it. Because I just want to be able to say it the way I'm going to say it. So I'm going to put it in the hypnotic sex course. That's another really great course to get. It has all the information on what to even do with your energy if you're not leaking it with dirty men. So let me see. Cord cutting, Mina Irfan. Do I still have it up? Oh my God. I sure do. This one is the one that releases like negative energy, but you can use it for that as well. Let me grab this link for you guys. This isn't my sexual one, but it still works. Set the intention. Do it for 21 days. So anytime you do an invocation or you do cord cutting. Oh, here's another thing. For those of you guys that are on a budget, I understand. I have a lot of younger subscribers as well. We are launching the journal that goes with the Contained in Love book. And what decided to do, Haney and I are working on it right now, is we've decided to add our cord cutting exercises to the journal version of this book. I don't think it's in the book. No, I don't think it is. But in the journal, we're adding some bonuses. So I will put all of my cord cutting, all my invocations in that book as well, so that it can be more accessible, more affordable for people. So that is going to be released soon as well. We're currently working on it, but right now my priority is to get the Lady Balls book out on 11/11, like I promised. I like to be a woman of my word, so we're focusing our energy on that. But I just put the link for the other cord cutting video in the description box. Oh, as I was starting to say, so when you do an invocation, a prayer, so a invocation is a more empowered prayer. So instead of you being in like where you're like a peasant and like God is the Almighty, an invocation is more like a collaboration with God. And that's why I think all religions, like I don't think it negates any religion. So invocation is just a more fancy term for that. You're speaking to God from a more empowered position versus like, oh, please God. Like you're not doing that kind of a prayer. Anytime you do a cord cutting or a invocation, you want to do it for at least bare minimum. 30 is better, but bare minimum 21 days. Bare minimum. And you want to do it 21 days in a row. So let's say that you do 10 days and you missed an 11th day. On the 12th day, start the count again. So you would start number one again. You don't want to miss it. Also, you want to do it around the same hour every day. You want it to have more of a ritualistic feel. So light a candle, sit in the same spot, sit in a spot that's like, kind of zen, wherever you meditate or pray to God, choose that spot and make it more of a ritualistic. When we go ritualistic, it just clears our subconscious better. So what we're doing now is we're involving the divine and we're also working within our human realm in our sort of like our animalistic, our subconscious, we're covering all the bases. So that's what I believe you should do. Hallelujah. I've been abstinent for almost 2 years. I wanted every bit of that DNA out. Girl, you are clean. You are new. Took spiritual baths and did meditations as well. That is beautiful. It's music to my ears because you are worthy. You're clean. You're sacred. And the thing is, start using that life force energy to build yourself up. I use my own sexual energy it's into like of course, I have with my husband, like love with my husband, but even then I use my own sexual energy for my skin to make myself look more. That's why, like, I feel like younger at my age than I even did in my 20s because I'm using my own life force energy to um, put into every pore of my being. I'm using it to nurture the world. Pouring it into my creativity. Like, I'm doing good with it. And that's how Barkat just compounds, right? That's how Berkat works. My 3-year-old son is the same. He always says, "Be careful, mom," and watches how his dad cares for me. Oh my God, that is so sweet. They're so sweet. They start young. When our Ayan was little, he was like 18 months, and he would say, "No worry." Like if he ever saw that I was worried about something, he would say, "No worry." It was just the cutest thing, and I always remind him of that. Like they're just so sweet. That's healthy DNA. It's like set in, like forever. It's always there, right? Like I love that. That is so sweet. I do that cord cutting meditation almost every day. Beautiful. I love that. Add it to your daily meditation, your daily, talk with God. Like, yes. I need a son like Armaan, OMG. So, guys, you guys know that Armaan does these fabulous human design readings, and my clients have been just obsessed with him, loving him, like just everywhere. I get so many emails from my clients saying, "Oh my God, your son's amazing. I had my reading." And lately, I've been trying to convince him to do, because he does coaching as well, like human design coaching. But I've been trying to get him to do like health coaching. And the reason for this is because he's hardcore. Like, he will get you on track. Like it's very hard to not be on track if Armand's on your team because he will be brutally honest. He's gonna keep you on check. So I've been trying to convince him. So if you're interested, email him and be like your mom said, like because like he can keep you accountable. If you want like that military style, like that tough love, like I am, Armand's your guy. I just threw his human design email in the description box as well. It's majestyofdivinity@gmail.com. Those invocations are so potent. Thank you, Mina, for sharing them. I'm so happy, babe. I have a client that came to Dubai and she said that she started the 21-day money cord cutting meditation and with so she started it and within 24 hours money showed up. Like she had a massive block going on in her life and she's like, Mina, I had every intention to do it for 21 days, but like within 24 hours results showed up. So they are very, very potent. I use them in my life. This is why. I had a guy on my rotation just last night ask me, "Do you prefer a man have money or character?" I said, "I don't want to insult a man, assume he can only do one." That is a freaking genius answer. And I agree with you. I am embarrassed for men that are doing 50-50. Like, I love men. And I think, like, I don't think I would be able to make eye contact for them because they're disempowered and they're like degrading themselves. Like, I know what men feel like when they provide and how it makes them feel. Do you guys know I have a whole host? I had totally forgotten this and I had never shared this, and I was sharing this in Dubai, and that's why I remember. I have emails from men who write in saying, "My wife's slash fiance slash girlfriend started working with you. I'll be very honest, I was very nervous in the beginning. And not only did you change my wife slash fiance slash girlfriend's life, you have changed my life." And then they will write all the ways. And some of these men, my clients tell me, we're like very skeptical. Who are you working with? She's saying, "What now? I have to provide? Like what?" Like a lot of these men started off doing 50-50 or whatever they had going on, and they got to a point in their marriage, in their life, where they dropped what they were doing and came and wrote me an email. So a lot of men, unfortunately, in today's society, don't even know what it feels like to provide for a woman, to protect, to be healthy, and how that makes them feel. And once they get to experience that, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I was missing this." I love men, and that's why I have high standards for them. So I agree with you, Christian, 1000%. When I hear that a man's forcing his wife to work or doing 50-50, I have a hard time making eye contact with him. I really do. It's like really sad for me. My thoughts are, what happened to this guy that he is going against millions of years of evolutionary history? Like, how bad was his upbringing or his mindset? Like, what broke that suddenly he is acting out of character from millions of years of DNA in human nature? So I have trouble making eye contact. I feel sad. Like, I have empathy for these men because they don't even know what it's like. Okay. And these are the self-aware Kens, obviously. I would never have empathy for predators. They're not even human to me. They're not, to be human means to be conscious. It means to be self-aware, and those men are not, right? But I'm talking about self-aware Kens that have been disempowered. They've been raised in households without a male figure. They just don't know any better. I feel so sad for them. So you are doing a service to humanity, ma'am, when you expect better. You are healing these men. I learned that from you that my turn on is for myself. I love you dearly. Thank you, Nicole. Where can we get the 21-day money invocation? She had it in the chords and contracts course, which by the way, we're almost done with this. I'm gonna turn that digital. And it's also in, obviously it's in my money course. I believe it's also in Millionaires, and I'm gonna also put it in the journal for that's coming out for this. Is it in the Lady Balls book? I'm trying to remember. By the way, the Lady Balls book is in the formatting now, formatting stage, so it's been handed over to our team, and I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited. My husband agrees with you 100%. He is so proud of providing and protecting for our family. Now he is even disappointed from his best friend who doesn't want to propose to his 2-year girlfriend. Yep. Notice that provider men look out for other women as well. So when they have family members or friends that are not doing right, like I've heard Irfan doing this too. Irfan will be on the phone with someone, and if he feels like that his friend or whatever or colleague even is not doing right, like men, that's why men learn from other healthy men. He'll be like, man, no, that's not right. Like for, I'll give you an example. One of Irfan's friends what wasn't okay with his wife quitting his job and quitting her job and staying home with the babies. First of all, she didn't want to quit her job, so that's a whole other thing. But we felt like, after everything they had been through to have these kids, because they did them later in life, they had to go through medical procedures. It was a nightmare for them to have these babies. And once they had them, now they were handing them over to some other person. So Irfan was like talking to him and saying, "Hey, you went through all of that. You're just gonna hand over your like newborns to someone?" And he was like, "No, no, no, I don't want her to quit. She doesn't want to quit." And I saw how Irfan like tried his best. Like he was concerned about his friend's well-being, his wife's well-being, and his kids' well-being to the point that he tried his best to convince them. Of course, they didn't. They did what they needed to do. It's really blown up in their face now, unfortunately. Say a prayer for them. It didn't work. It ended badly, but Irfan saw what could happen, and he tried to warn them. So the point is that provider men want good things for all women. They want to protect humanity. They want to protect innocence. So I totally see why her husband would be doing that. They coach other men. Evelyn, welcome to Level Up Queens. She said, he says that it takes a lot to be a real man, and many males right now don't have what it takes to take care of a family. Yep, yep, they're being distressed. First of all, they didn't have healthy role models, which I understand that. I don't think it's an excuse. You can find healthy role models. You can make friends. So I'm not making excuses, but I get it. There's that. Then secondly, they're lazy asses that conserve energy and sit and play video games. And Irfan cannot stand any man that plays video games. Like he just can't. Okay. Um, when my sons were younger, we had like a certain time that they could play, and he would even like as Armaan was turning into a teenager, there were healthy conversations about this. Interestingly enough, when Armaan turned 17, he quit playing video games. And I remember he was just like, Mom, I can't believe that I was wasting those 2 hours a day playing video games when I could have been reading, I could have been learning, I could have been working out. So healthy men, like they're always thinking about providing. So they're like, no, no, no. This time that I'm playing video games or this time that I'm wasting, I could have put this towards my goals. I could put this through my health. I could put this towards making money. So even at 17, he's 19 now, my son, but even at 17, he quit playing video games, and then it trickled down. As soon as Armand stopped playing video games, my then 11-year-old, now 13-year-old was like, well, like if Armand's not playing, I'm not playing. because I like playing with Armaan. So notice how healthy men make good decisions not only for themselves, but they are this beautiful morphogenetic field. Do you know that uh my younger two kids self-regulate their sugar intake? Like they're more strict than I am. Like you guys saw my Instagram stories. We were on the first class flight to Dubai, and both times, like there and back, they had this whole dessert cart. I posted pictures for you guys, right? Dessert carts just full of like all these beautiful desserts. And I was like, Ayan, like we're on, like just have it, right? Like I had some, Irfan had some, Alina had a little bit. He's like, nope, I've had my sugar intake for a day for the day. Where is he getting that from? First of all, he's getting that from her home environment, but even I couldn't peer pressure him to eat it. Why? Because Arman. Because his brother is so freaking disciplined that he's just looking up to his brother, and now he doesn't want to do it. He's like, Mom, no, no, no. I already had too much sugar at the in the lounge, at the airport lounge. I'm not. I'm like, but it's a beautiful dessert cart on a first class flight. Like you gotta eat it. He's like, no, Mom. I had my sugar. Like that was a conversation I was having with a freaking 13-year-old. Okay, I couldn't pressure him. So healthy DNA knows how to act. It knows how to be. And it also inspires that in other people. That's so he said he needs to verify my identity. Yeah, he's probably a woman. And now you've triggered like his worry gland, like a woman have, like Dave Ramsey says, women have worry gland. I'm not even sure this is a man because a lot of people are now identifying as like weird genders and stuff. They've forgotten that Homo sapiens just have two genders. So just block him. Protect yourself. This guy gives me the heat. I'm not even sure. Is it even a man? Like, I don't know. I know I'm so bad. Jasmine said, I know it was you guys saw that. Did you see my story with the card? It was so pretty. I had some stuff. It was so good. Turkish like lounges and like they're like it's so good. But no, he did not. Mina, what did you study at college? I'm asking because I'm a neuroscience major with a concentration in psychology, and I would love to research the things you are saying. So I studied psychology, communication, anthropology, evolution, evolutionary psychology, evolutionary biology. So all of those things. Here's my biggest advice to you. Don't study one thing. Things when you study a lot of different topics, things that you learned from other topics activated what you learned from these topics. So for example, I had already studied evolution and anthropology at uni. When I got diagnosed with autoimmune stuff, I started studying nutrition. And because I was trying to decode the Homo sapien original diet, I went into studying the paleo people, right? When I started studying that, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what my professor meant when he said that. That's what my professor meant when he said this. So studying things that don't seemingly go together activates a level of wisdom that you can't get from studying one thing. So that was my biggest secret is that I've spent just even beyond college and university, I've just spent a lifelong studying and I continue to do so. I'm still studying. I love studying. That's what God has assigned me. Like that's my goal, like post. Like Mina, just sit over here and study and tell the people. That's what I do. My dad is so bad with money that my mom decided to have separate accounts and do something similar to 50-50. It's really sad. I need so much inner work around money. Yeah, see, uh, some men, not all men, but some men who are divorced or like with like a self-aware Barbie go into this disempowered state with money. And I'm not making excuses for them. I think it's pretty pathetic and they need to cut it out. Like for example, I was talking to a client the other day and she's in her 50s and she's dating this divorced man and she's like, Mina, he doesn't have anything to give. And I said, babe, the math ain't mathing because when you get a divorce, you have to give 50% of your assets, right? You share 50%. Where are the rest of the 50%? So I think a lot of predatory men or disempowered men even use their divorce as an excuse to breadcrumb you basically, to give you nothing. So he needs to not date you and get his act together and go make more money, go, brush up your resume, get a better job, start a business. Like here's the thing, if women can hustle their ass and get all of these college degrees and work two jobs and have a side hustle and have a business and do all of this stuff to empower ourselves and make money and buy homes and want to have a better life. Come on. You can't do that as a man? Like, seriously? Like, I remember when I was in Hawaii for my in-person event, I was walking sort of like the Hawaii, like the Honolulu Strip, and I remember walking past all of these able-bodied homeless men with muscles, mind you. Do you know that muscles require money? Because you need to eat protein, you need to work out, right? Like they require like there's nothing more elite than having like a toned body, okay? So I'm talking about able-bodied young men that were toned, were sitting on the sidewalk, freaking homeless, while women were walking past in a hurried space, probably on to work. You know how when a woman is off to work, you know she's off to work? And I was just walking the strip going, okay, you're over here, homeless, begging, able many body man in your 20s and 30s with the muscles. While all of these women who probably have kids, responsibilities at home, are probably taking care of their elderly parents, are rushing off to work. Explain this to me, sir. Explain that to me. Okay? They have their periods, they have to work through their periods, they have to work through pregnancy and childbirth, and you're over here checking out of society, begging for money. Like, what? What is going on? Like, men have just become so freaking lazy. Like, I feel like Irfan and I were just having this conversation that today's modern day society is just clicking that conserve energy switch in so many men these days that they're just checking out. They're just checking out. Like, it's so sad. It's just, no. And then it's forcing women to be more in their masculine because they're looking at this hot mess and saying, well, that's not freaking work it. Like, explain that to me that women of all ages, all sizes, moms, all sorts of situations are rushing off to work while you're sitting your ass down on the corner begging for money. I don't get it. I don't get it. Absolutely, there's no excuse. This world is designed for me, mind you. And then they get offended when you expect more. Yeah, exactly. Like more women are college educated now than men. More single women are buying homes than single men are. Like it's just the whole thing is just reversed now. So if we can do it with PMS on our period while we're pregnant, while we're like bleeding after baby, like if we can do it through all of that, sir, you can do it. Okay? Stop freaking making excuses and trying to get free sex off of Tinder. Okay, so that's my message for today. Join me in Incarnate Houston 2024. Those of you guys that already signed up, ladies, I did add you to the bonus, which is the portal recordings, and the information about the location will be available next week, hopefully. I just want to go check out one more room before I finalize the event space, but the link is in the description box. It's also in the chat. I love you. I will see you in the next one. Bye.